All right, you guys, welcome today to our team meeting, our team pajama party. I don't know if any of you guys are in your pajamas. I am not yet. Joelle's like, what up, Tara, Ashley? Today's like one of the rare days I kind of dressed up. So, okay, so I'm going to go over just kind of some upcoming things real quick, and then we're going to turn the time over to Ashley, who is our guest speaker, which I'm so excited about. So first, just let's see. I'm trying to see if we have any. No, we don't have any new coaches on. All right. First, we have our health bet starting on Monday, and we're doing it through the app. We do have a team group starting. So if you have any customers that are doing that, you need to reach out to Jody Ann Crane, and she will add you to the app, or and then she'll make you an admin. So you need to message her with your email address and have her do that. And you guys, I was just looking at it today, the app. I did last night I went through and added all my clients, and I mean, you have to invite your clients so that they can join the app. I went through it. It looks pretty simple. So there's a little tutorial that's on the app. And you just go to mychallengetrackerportal.com. That's the coach entrance, I guess. And there's like a little tutorial that's like 6 minutes and explains everything. And it's really simple. So I would just take the 6 minutes to watch the tutorial so you're not totally clueless and freaking out. So I invited all of my clients, and then I'm going to also personally message them and kind of give them a heads up on what's going on and stuff. Give them like some of our bonus items, like the Team Sheet cookbook and the Eat Clean meal plan and stuff. So there's that. That's starting on September 5th. And then let me look at my calendar. So I'm just going to give you a heads up on September, but we'll have a calendar for you guys soon. But here's how September is going to look. So on the 5th, we have our health bet. And then on the 12th, we're going to do a free, you guys are welcome to do your own free group, or you can hop in. I've been dying to do 5 days of chocolate challenge. I'm either going to call it 5 days of chocolate or just chocolate challenge. And it's going to have like 5 healthy chocolate recipes. So I think that'll be an awesome group. And I haven't decided quite yet, so I'm open to your feedback. If I'm going to have them, one of the things is I think I'll send them, whoever's in the group, a chocolate Shakeology. I don't know. I haven't decided yet because I don't know if I have enough chocolate packets. But maybe I'll charge them. Anyway, but I think you could throw people in there for free or send them a packet. But I think we'll end with like a chocolate Shakeology recipe that will kind of lead into talking to them about Shakeology. So I'm excited about that group. You guys can totally join with me. It's just do it for chocolate. She's the one who inspired me. So that's on the 12th.
Mommy's room, and you can watch your own show.
And then on the 19th, we're doing a team challenge group that is back to school, back to you. So, feel free to start promoting that next week. And then, of course, the 26th, we're going to be doing a team sneak peek. So that's kind of the overview for September. Can you guys think of anything else, or do you have any questions about all that? Okay, cool. And hopefully you guys have been hustling. We only have one more day to hit Success Club, and some of you guys have been really busting your booty to hit it, like Natasha. Woo woo! Natasha just hit. Was this your first time? Wait, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
For the most part, yeah. I think I did it like my very first month, but yeah.
So second month. Whoop! That is awesome. Good job. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so you still have 24 hours. It is totally possible to go from 0 to 6 in 24 hours. So don't get discouraged. Get determined. Don't get desperate. Get determined. And you guys, the health bet, I posted a script for the health bet that I've been using. I sold like 4 challenge packs with that. So use it if you haven't yet. Oh, I see a couple new coaches that just hopped on. I want you guys to introduce yourselves really quick before we turn the time over to Ashley. So I see, is that Ashley Marie? She's like, there's like a close-up of her jacket or something. And Whitney, have you introduced yourself before? Okay, you have. Just want to make sure. And Emily is on the phone.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Introduce yourself and tell us who your coach is. And
So my coach is Heidi Porter, and I just signed up as a coach like, I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago. So I'm brand new and just trying to figure everything out and excited to be here. So I just hit Success Club though.
oh, you're the one she shouted out, right?
Yep.
That's so awesome. Good job. That's amazing. That's your first week of coaching.
Well, I didn't realize at first that I was thinking in my head that I had a month from when I signed up, and then I realized, oh, I only have till the end of the month. So I had to work hard, but we got it done.
Good for you, girl. And where are you at? Are you in Utah? Or?
Yeah, I'm in Utah. I'm in Centerville. Sorry about the toddler. I'm trying to get a show on for him, but
Oh, you're fine. We all have that struggle.
so I'm in Centerville, Utah. Anyway, what else? I have 5 kids. My youngest just turned 1. So I have my hands full, but excited to be here.
Awesome. I always bow down to anyone that has more kids than me. So,
Well, I'm surviving barely right now. So.
Yay! We're so excited to have you on our team. And
Thank you.
And Ashley, can you hear us? Can you unmute yourself? Let me see if I can. I still have not. There, Ashley Marie, are you on?
Ashley is totally my coach.
Okay, I unmuted her. Can you hear
Can
us?
you guys hear me?
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm Ashley Thorsman, and I'm new to the coaching. This is my first week. Megan Bryant brought me in, and I'm just having a difficult time trying to get people to join the team right now. So I'm hoping this is going to help.
Yes. We're so excited that you're here and that you're new and you have a fabulous upline coach, Megan, to help you out. So welcome.
Thank you.
And where are you at, Ashley?
Bedford, Virginia.
Awesome. You finally got a Virginia girl.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to get started with our guest speaker, Ashley McCLellan. I'll just tell, so Ashley is a 1-star diamond. And the reason I asked her, every time she posts, I'm like, that was freaking genius. Like every time I see her post. So, I wanted to have her come and speak and just share kind of how she does it all. And you'll have to talk, introduce yourself even a little more, but you've lost 100 pounds? Yeah. And has it all been through doing Beachbody?
100%.
Oh, freaking amazing. And then what else was I going to say? And this is another thing that I'm so impressed by is she's been sugar-free since, was it December?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, that's like mind-blowing to me. That is impressive.
It's been hard, but at the same time, at this point, I'm like, oh, that's not hard at all. Like we just had a diamond retreat over the weekend, and everyone kept being like, I'm so impressed that you haven't slipped. And I'm like, no, it's just second nature to not eat sugar now. It's, yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. So I'm going to turn the time over to you, and you get started, and then I've got some questions to ask you and things like that. So we'll take it away, girlfriend.
Okay, awesome. So I want to introduce myself first. And number one, this is pretty vulnerable for me. I do not wear my hair in a ponytail. I do not wear my hair in a ponytail. And I had a mega bad hair day. And I had every intention of coming home and showering like right before the call and round brushing my hair. And then I was like, nope, the whole thing is about doing things that make you uncomfortable. So I'm not going to do my hair. So yeah, mega uncomfortable for me.
I love it.
So my name's Ashley. I've been a coach since last June. I was introduced to Beachbody through an infomercial in 2007, I think. Turbo Jam was my first program. I've struggled with my weight my whole life. When I was 21, I weighed 300 pounds. And I was pre-diabetic, and I had major depression. And my sister suggested to me, I think you should probably do Turbo Jam again, because I had loved it. I just couldn't seem to stick with it. And I was like, no, I know them all. And she was like, there's this new thing that just came out called Turbo Fire. It's the same thing. It's just harder. And I'm like, hey, did you hear the whole 300 pounds thing? I can't do harder. And she's like, yes, you can. You can do this. And I'll be your accountability partner, and we'll talk every day, and I'll totally help you. And so she was. I texted her she wasn't even a coach. I texted her every single day and was like, dude, a Fire 55 kicked my freaking butt. I think I swore at Shalene like 15 times. And like hit 15, I totally peed my pants. Like, I can't do this. And she was like, yes, you can do this. And over the year I was already down 40 from cutting out soda. I lost 90 pounds. But I was super psycho with my nutrition. I would like eat steamed broccoli and salmon for dinner 7 days a week. And I would make Jake, my husband, whatever he wanted. We didn't have kids at the time. And of course I was miserable. Like, I missed Halloween trick-or-treating, all the fun kids coming to our house, because I'd missed my workout that day, and I had to make sure I did my workout. And I felt so guilty I'd eaten a piece of candy that I worked out for 2 hours in my basement while the trick-or-treaters were coming. Like, I had just gotten really psycho. And I signed up to coach for like a split second. I was in a team that was all about who can get the most points. I didn't even connect in my head that challenge packs mean a life changed. In my head, it was just points, and I hated it. And I quit. Shakeology was a freaking expensive protein shake. Like, I'm not drinking this. And that's wasted calories, because I count my calories and I only get 1350 a day. And you want me to put in Shakeology and frozen fruit and almond milk and peanut butter? That's like a third of my servings, or a third of my calories. And I'm not drinking that. And I quit coaching. I got pregnant with my daughter, and she was the main motivation for me to get pregnant, for me to lose weight. I really wanted to get pregnant. Throughout the course of my pregnancy, because I couldn't be psycho about my nutrition anymore, and my doctor told me Turbo Fire was too intense, I gained 100 pounds back, and I was devastated, because every time people came up to me, they were always like, you're so motivating and you're so awesome. And my father-in-law, I think he's just like the greatest person on earth. And every time he would introduce me to people, he was always like, this is my daughter-in-law, and she has lost half of her person. Like, she's half of the person she was. And all of a sudden, that all stopped. And I had no clue who I was anymore. I mean, I'm a wife and I'm a mom, but I'm not the person that inspires people anymore. So who am I? So I decided, well, I've lost 100 pounds before. I can do it again. Started doing Turbo Fire. I could not stay accountable. And long story short, 18 months in, my daughter was 18 months. My coach had been a coach for 6 months. And I messaged her, and I bet she has the message if we go back far enough. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, because you're not coaching the way that I was taught to coach. But whatever you're doing, I want to do it. Because by then she was making a couple $1,000s a month. And I was like, I need that. And especially if it's Beachbody, because I love Beachbody. I'm passionate about Beachbody, and Shalene Johnson is my homegirl. It's like on my dream board to buy the house next door to her, because I just want to be the stalker that looks in her windows at night. That's so creepy, but I just love Shalene Johnson. Hi, Shalene. I love her so much. So, and that's just kind of where that's kind of how I got back into coaching, and how I love it. I'm never going anywhere. I'm a lifer. I am going to be here in 70 years, and I'm never going anywhere. So I kind of broke down what I want to talk to you guys about into a couple different categories. So I want to talk first.
Ashley, yes. I have a question for you. So I got a little confused on your journey. So you quit coaching.
Uh-huh.
Was Jalen still your coach, or did you get a new upline coach?
Jalen wasn't my upline when I was a coach, because I was a coach in 2012.
Oh, okay.
So it was a super long time ago. I was a coach she's under a different, so you know at the very top of Christine Dwyer, she's got Janelle, and then Monica's on the other leg.
Uh-huh.
My girl was on Monica. So I was like polar opposite side of platinum presenters. And my team was just, we were literally trained. When you sell a challenge pack, there was no such thing as a challenge group. You just tell them, good luck, let me know if you have any questions. And you did not tell them that it was going to auto ship. So you just hoped they didn't notice it in their bank account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's how you make money, is you just hope they don't notice.
Huh.
And I was like, this is so scammy. I'm so not doing this. This sucks. Yeah.
And then how did you find Jalen?
She was one of my best friends, actually. We lived in the same neighborhood, and her daughter was in my little church class, and I was just obsessed with her. Like, she and I were really good friends, and we talked a lot about sorry, I just thought of another thing I want to talk about. We talked a ton about like weight loss. She was doing her nutritionist at the same time that I was doing Turbo Fire. So we compare, our eating calories were pretty similar. So we compared what we ate, and we were just really, really good friends, and I just loved her. So when she posted she became a coach, I remember telling my husband, oh my gosh, they got her. Like, now Jalen's going to become that super scammy person. They got her.
Right.
Everything she started posting, and she was doing 21 Day Fix, which I'm like, freak, another person posting about those stupid containers. And then she posted her 1 week results, and I was like, holy crap. And then every single week she just kept going, and I went out of town with her and I watched what she ate, and then she posted her pictures when she got home, and I was like, I was with you, I saw what you ate, how did you do that? And I kept thinking, there's no way, and it's for her, there's no way I could be good at that, because I've done this before. That's not how it works. It's hard. Nobody wants to buy from you. It's whatever. And I think the tipping point was I tell myself this all the time. What got me to sign up was she did a free group about Mother's Day. And all week we talked about, like, there were different things about, why you're a good mother, and different quotes and whatever. And then on the last day, Mother's Day, she had messaged all of the husbands without any of us knowing, and had them record a video with the kids talking about why they thought their wife was a good mom. And then she posted them in the group and tagged all of us. So we all wake up Mother's Day to these sweet videos from our husbands and our kids. And I was bawling. And I messaged her and I was like, I'm in. If this is how your groups are, I'm in. I will do whatever you tell me to do. If this is what your groups are, I want to be a part of this. So free groups can totally rock. Right, Joelle? Like, best idea ever. Yeah.
Like, okay, Mother's Day. Don't forget that, everyone.
Yep. Yeah. So that's how I found Jalen. We were friends for quite a while.
All right. I just wanted to hear more about that. Okay, so dive in.
Okay. So I'm going to go over, I feel like there's an order to being vulnerable. So first of all, you have to discover what it is that you're vulnerable about, because not everybody's vulnerable about the same things. And the biggest part of being vulnerable is it has to be authentically you. Like she said, Jalen is my coach. I freaking love her. And one of the things she's really authentic about is how she and her husband had kind of gotten to roommate status. That's not me. And I've tried to kind of make that me and talk about that. That's not me. And so it's not authentic. And that doesn't work. So you have to figure out your areas, and that's going to be a big part of what we talk about. And then number 2, you need to talk about the things that you're vulnerable about as they're happening in your life, not word vomit everything in one post. You want to little bits and pieces. You want to be talking about them, and you want to talk about them as they happen. And then 3rd, and I feel like is most important, you have got to keep it positive. When you post something super vulnerable, it cannot be this like, I'm so sad, my dad just died, and I don't know how my life's going to continue. Like, people are going to be like, okay, well, she's about to post a whole bunch of negative shiz for the next 3 weeks. So you can't, which that's real life, but you have to wait to post about the hard stuff until you can find some sort of a positive spin for it. So, and sometimes that takes time, and that just means you wait to post about it. So, I went through and made a list of all the things that kind of make me uncomfortable to post about. Because I know Kelly has done some fabulous videos about how you want the 5 things that you talk about. And for a long time, I was going to make one of those 5 things like hair and makeup and nails, because I love being girly. Like I said, my hair is never in a ponytail. And so I wanted one of those things to be those things, but that's not vulnerable for me. And so I don't really talk about that stuff because it's not really me. It's something I enjoy, but I don't feel like people get to know me when I post those things. So I really try to focus on things that if I talk about this, there might be somebody out there who judges me. And there might be somebody who's like, you know what? I don't think I want to be your friend anymore. That's okay, because you're not my target. So I separated them into 2 lists. Some of them are a little bit lighter because I try to make sure I don't get too heavy too often, because you don't want to be like, dude, this girl is always, I mean, even if she makes a positive spin, it's always like word vomit dumping. So split them into 2 categories. So, and as we're going, obviously, like I said, some of these apply to me. They're not going to apply to you, but if something comes to you that you're like, yes, that, write it down. And even if it's something that I say that you're like, there's something in there that I bet I could make that something that relates to me, just keep track of them, because there's times that you're like, I just can't be vulnerable. And then I look at my list and I'm like, oh, there's like 10 things on there I can talk about. So number 1, my husband's job. My husband works in the oil industry. He had worked in the oil industry for 11 years. And in April, 3 days after we got home from the diamond retreat with Micah, he got laid off. And we had kind of seen it coming. They'd been doing layoffs for over a year, but he'd been there for 11 years. So I thought we were going to be okay. And that was devastating. And the day it happened, I posted about it because I wanted people to know this is something crappy that's going on. This is something I'm struggling with, but we're going to find a job. And you know what? This is kind of a blessing in disguise, because the company was starting to make some super stupid decisions and my husband wasn't happy there anymore. And I was unhappy that he was unhappy. So this is kind of a blessing in disguise. He got a massive severance check. And so we were going to be fine for quite a while. And so I just talked about how this is a blessing. Now we get to find out what my husband's dream job is. And now we get to find out what he wants to do. And that, surprisingly, is a construction job, which I'm like, what the heck? Everybody talks in high school about like, go to college or you'll be a construction worker. And he loves it. And I'm like, whatever, what's wrong with you? But that construction job took him out of town. He's in Idaho, and he's been in Idaho for 2 months. He comes home for 2 or 3 days at a time and goes back, and it sucks, like very badly. And he, I keep it light, but I talk about his job and how bad it sucks and how excited we are when he comes home. And then while he's gone, I just talk about how I can't wait for him to come home again. And I try to keep it, I'm talking about me, I'm sharing something vulnerable about talking about your husband's job that's finances. Finances are like super voodoo. But, I talk about that. I talk about my religion. I definitely keep it from, I don't get preachy, but that's a part of who I am. And if someone doesn't like that, I'm not the right coach for them. So, like I said, I don't keep it preachy. I don't make it so that it's like, oh, if you don't have the same religious beliefs as me, then I'm not the right coach for you. But I share quotes that reach out to me. I share that, on Sundays, I go to church. I share, those kinds of things, because that's part of who I am. And it's, like I said, somebody might not like that, but they're not my target if they don't like that. I share pictures of my house when my house is messy, because the whole world has a messy house at one time or another. Nobody has the perfect house. And that makes you relatable. If you're always posting these beautiful pictures with the perfect lighting and you're talking about how your Scentsy is lemon scented and the summer breeze is blowing in the window, and then people look at their house with like 7 kids running around naked, they're going to be like, whoa, my life doesn't look like that. So you have to be vulnerable. You have to about your house. And, that's an easy way to be vulnerable. And you make it positive. You say, like, I've made jokes before about how we're going to fire our dish fairy because she hasn't showed up in 7 days. We, things like that. You find a positive spin on it. You don't just say, oh my gosh, I want to move. I hate my house. Like, find a positive way to talk about it, but share that your house is messy. It makes you real. It makes you look like a real person. This one's more funny than anything. I share funny things about my personality. I'm mega into Once Upon a Time. And I like watch way too much Netflix. It's kind of a problem. I'm really proud of myself, actually. Season 5 came out like 5 days ago, and I haven't even started it yet, but pretty sure that's going to end the second I get off this call. And I share about that I love Once Upon a Time, but I'll share, look at the 7 loads of laundry that are sitting on my bed. And this just means I get to watch 3 episodes of Once Upon a Time because this is going to take me 2 hours to put my clothes away. And that shows I'm a real person with a messy house. And it shows that as a coach, I still have time to watch TV. And it shows that I'm mega obsessed with a TV show. So I have people message me that are like, what part are you at? Have you seen the Peter Pan stuff yet? What do you think of Captain Hook? And whatever, like, it makes it so that it sparks building relationships with people because other people who are obsessed with Once Upon a Time want to talk to me too. Along those lines, I am a diehard BYU football fan. And my family came up with this super stupid, oh, it's so stupid, superstition when I was like 7 years old that if your house isn't clean, BYU can't win. And I wish I was kidding because sometimes I think I need medication, but my brain legit thinks that. Like BYU will be like, it's like 4th and 10 and there's 3 seconds on the clock and we got like 60 yards to go and we're down by 2 and I'm like dusting the windowsills and I'm vacuuming the floor and I'm like bleaching the sink in the commercials. I'm not kidding. My brain like, so
your parents tell you very much too.
Oh,
tell my kids that about something.
Oh, it's so bad. And my husband loves it because from August to December, you could eat off of any surface in our house because I'm psycho about it. And so many people know that about me. So during a BYU game, when like last year, the BYU-Utah, it's our big rivalry, we were getting our butts handed to us. And I talked for 3 weeks about all this stuff. I organized my pantry. I cleaned out my cupboards. I detailed my garage in December. Like I did all these things. And all these people are like, what did you miss? You missed something because we're down by like 25. So I was posting all over Facebook, this is not me. Everybody stop messaging me. And it makes it so people know something about me because I'm like legit psycho. P.S. we play in 4 days and I totally have like 7 loads of laundry on my bed. So I need to go clean that or we're not going to win.
Better.
I post a lot of pictures and videos without my hair and my makeup done because nobody's perfect. Nobody gets ready every day. Nobody looks like they just left the salon every day. And I actually am starting to like those pictures better because I get a lot more traction on the pictures that I look more, that are real life and they don't look like super staged. Like I got ready so I can take this Transformation Tuesday pictures that are like first thing in the morning and I have a top knot on my head that's like up to the moon and I'm in my workout clothes, but I'm freaking out because the scale's down 5 pounds and oh my gosh, Country Heat is the freaking awesomest thing ever. That like pictures like that get a lot of traction because it's real, it's vulnerable, and it's in the moment, even if my hair and my makeup aren't done. Same thing with workouts. I do a lot of workout videos. For some reason, I love to film workout videos. I don't know why. But I'll film a workout video regardless of if I'm wearing the perfect outfit. And especially with Country Heat, I've posted a couple of them recently. So if you're interested, go stalk my page. You'll get a good laugh. I don't know how many of you have done Country Heat, but in Trail Ride, there's a song, Cotton Eye Joe, that is like, I love that song. And it brings back so many awesome memories from when I danced when I was 10. And so when I'm like, I didn't realize I was doing this because in my mind, I just look like I'm smiling and having fun. And I went back and watched and my eyes are like super squinty. And I'm like, Cotton Eye Joe. And I'm like making all these stupid things with my face. And I'm like, I don't care. I look like I'm having fun. So I'm going to post it. I sold like 3 challenge packs that day because it's not about, look, I'm having so much fun. It's being real and showing like I'm so into it that I'm not looking at the camera. I'm having a blast and I look like a freaking idiot, but I'm having fun. And hey, look at my Apple Watch. I just burned 500 calories. Like, so that's really vulnerable to post sometimes when you look like an idiot. Things about your mom life. What?
Where just real quick, do you post your videos on your personal page or your fan page?
Both. I right now just copy and paste everything to my live page.
But when you do like a live video, or do you just record it and then upload it?
I usually record them and upload it. I've done live a couple times, and every single time my connection got spotty in the middle. Okay. So then I'm like, this is not worth it. I'll just record a video and go back and edit it. Okay. So I usually do those. And I've done videos before too with my daughter. My daughter loves to work out with me. She's 2.5. And I have one of my favorite videos I've actually ever filmed of her doing 22-minute hardcore with me. And she, for all 7 moves of the round, did it with me, except the burpees. I was thinking she wasn't doing it, and it turns out she was behind me doing them, and she was watching me the whole time. And I got so much traction on that video. So in my head, it's super vulnerable. I am not at my skinniest weight, and I'm showing me like jumping around, and my house is messy, and you can't see my face in some of the shots because of the angle and where I was standing, but you can see her. And you can see that, like, one of them, she's running around me in circles while I'm doing planks, and she's looking at me while I'm doing burpees. Like, so I do a lot of my workouts. I film them, and then I edit them and post them. Stuff about your mom life on days that, and this is one I try to be careful on, but on days that you feel like you're ready to kill your kids, post about it. Sometimes, not every day. And that's when you keep it super positive. Like I saw some
content for that.
Right. Yep. Like, and I saw someone post an awesome one the other day about how they were hiding in the bathroom with the door locked, and like stuff like that is just like every mom can relate to that. People relate to that. And I have a girl who used to be a coach on my team. She actually just quit, which I've been waiting for her to quit. That her thing is she posts every single day about how much she loves motherhood, and she can't wait for you to wake up in the morning because I miss you when you go to bed. And today was full of giggles and sunshine and unicorn and rainbows. And I'm like, shut up. Nobody feels that way every single minute of every single day about your kids. I love my daughter more than life itself. I busted my butt to lose 100 pounds so that I wouldn't struggle with infertility, so that I could get her here. But I still am like, oh, praise the Lord, it's bedtime. You need to go to bed before I like punch you in the face. So you keep it positive. You keep it not every day that you're talking about how you want to kill your child, but no one thinks that their child is perfect 24/7 and nothing is ever wrong. So talking about your mom life and talking about interests, hobbies, things that you're interested in. I am mildly obsessed with Dave Ramsey. And totally went and saw him when we were in Nashville for Summit. And I talk about his stuff a lot more than I thought I did. And I have a lot of people message me that are like, how did you get started on getting debt free? What did you do? I'm so stuck. Can you help me? And it turns into me like kind of becoming an accountability partner for them while they're trying to get out of debt. And that later turns into, hey, if you want to make some extra money, I could totally help you with coaching. But you have to wait till the timing's right. That doesn't mean that hey, while you're working on getting out of debt, do you want to buy a challenge pack? Like, you have to wait till the timing's right. You build the relationship. But that's a way that I can build relationships with people about something that I have in common with them and something that they know I'm super passionate about because I talk about it a lot. So I'm getting super long-winded. Those were my like fluffy things. So and I'm going to go through my deep things super fast. Number 1, I have a weird platelet disorder. My body randomly tries to kill me, and it tried to kill me after I gave birth to my daughter. It crashed again when she was 6 months old. My doctor told me I was never going to be able to have kids ever again unless we adopted, and we just recently found out the doctors changed their minds because my body has held solid for the first time ever. You want to know the only difference between now and then? Shakeology, like, hello, which I filmed a video about it, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to post it or if I want to shorten it because it's like 9 minutes long. But Shakeology is like awesome. So anyway, I have this weird platelet thing, and my body tries to kill me. I have had mega depression. I've been on like 15 different antidepressants. I tried to kill myself multiple times. I lost my full ride scholarship when I was a freshman in college because I was on so many medications that they counterbalanced each other, and I couldn't get out of bed, and I ended up getting a C in a class when I had to have a B average in order to keep my freaking scholarship, and I lost my full ride scholarship. And my husband told me I got off my antidepressants when I was working out in 2012, and then because I didn't work out while I was pregnant with my daughter, my depression came back. And I was so miserable that my husband told me we were going to get a divorce if I did not get back on medication because he couldn't handle being married to me anymore because I was so psycho. And that's when I called McCLellan and was like, I need something to help me stay accountable so that I will keep working out, because I know working out works, but I'm not sticking to it and I can't go back on medication. So I need you to help me. And that's kind of the tipping point for me with coaching. But depression is a huge part of my story. My weight, like I said, I weighed 300 pounds, but you have to put more into it than talking about your weight. You have to talk about a story behind it. So I have a picture that I remember for some reason the day before this picture was taken that I sat in a chair and I broke it. And we were with a whole bunch of friends. When you're 21 years old, all your friends weigh like 112 pounds soaking wet. And I sit in this chair and I break it. My husband and I had been married for like 2 months. And I just remember coming home and eating like a tray of brownies and a bag of Doritos, because that's going to fix the problem. But that feeling sucked. And that post got so much traction because so many people were like, I've so done the same thing after a super crappy thing, or I get family pictures back and I hate them or whatever. And then I go and eat something that is not going to help. You don't just say, I was a size 14 and now I'm a size 10. You have to put the emotion behind it. You have to put how you felt when that happened. And, you know, whether it was, I felt like I was going to puke when I saw this picture or, you know, whatever. I know you guys all know that feeling I'm talking about. My parents are divorced, and that I don't talk about that a lot because I'm kind of over it. And my mom like mega follows me on Facebook. And so I don't want to hardcore bring too much drama to that. But that was something I really struggled with. And I talk about it more one-on-one with people, or when I mention it, people will message me and then I kind of go deeper. But my parents are divorced. That's something I talk about, and how mega hard I work in my marriage to make sure that that does not become the story for my daughter. My dad has diabetes and bipolar and OCD and ADD and ADHD and arteriosclerosis, and has survived 4 heart attacks and has an artificial stint and is living off of government subsistence, whatever, and doesn't have a car. And I am who he calls when he needs to go to a doctor, when he needs money, when he needs anything. I have to be that person for him. And I love my dad. That's a really heavy burden to carry. And it's devastating to see your dad. My dad's body is falling apart. He's 52. We actually just went to the doctor today. He's like mega having heart stuff, and he can't walk 20 yards without having to stop and take a 10-minute break. And that, like, I work out for like 30 minutes a day. The thought of not being able to walk 20 yards makes me like, are you kidding? But that's like what's coming for me if I'm not careful with my workouts and whatever. And that's a big part of my story, because I can see what will happen to me if I'm not careful. And so I talk a lot about that. And a lot of people have parents who are not healthy. But that's very vulnerable to talk about, because I'm talking about a real person that's a family member that I love and I care about. I had a major eating disorder. When I lost weight in 2012, I was a mega binge eater, and I didn't ever throw up, not from lack of trying. But I would sit, I'd have kind of a bad day. And so I would have one cookie, and then I would say, well, I already screwed up, so I shouldn't eat as many as I want. And I'd eat like 35. And I would get to the point that I was like ready to throw up, and then I'd eat some more because I wanted to make myself so sick that I would never do it again. Except 3 days later, I'd do it again. And it just turned into this horrible cycle because I was telling myself there was foods I would never eat again. And that's the reason I ended up going off sugar in December. Actually, we were at a family Christmas party. I ate 27 cookies, thought I was going to throw up. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going a year without sugar because I just can't. I'm always binging on it. This is ridiculous. And yeah, I talk a lot about how I used to binge eat because a lot of people can relate to having a bad day and looking down and realizing they ate an entire tray of brownies. And the last one, I recently, at the very end of May, I had a miscarriage. And I actually posted about it the day after it happened. We told family, so family knew, but other than my team knew, but other than that, nobody really knew. And I just remember saying, you know, I don't know why this happened, but I feel really at peace. And I know that it happened for a reason. And I know that everything is going to be okay. I don't know what that means, but I know that everything is going to be okay. And that was the positive spin. It doesn't have to be this, but someday we'll get pregnant again, and I know we'll see that baby again. So it's okay that I'm not pregnant right now and that I'm bleeding like crazy. And then my family, I had family members tell me that I caused it because of exercising. Like, that was a very vulnerable thing for me to talk about so soon. And, yeah. So anyway, that was a very long list of some, like, but those are all things that make me me. So because I talk about all of those things, people come up to me and we can like immediately have a conversation about any one of those things because they know that about me. And because they're talking to me about that thing, I can talk back. So it immediately makes me have friendships with people. People will message me and say, I know you have no idea who I am, but I've been following you for 6 months and I feel like I know everything about you and I think we would be best friends and here's why. And they tell me their whole lifelong story and we're basically twins. And I have like 3 of those people that just turned into coaches. So it's the more that people know you, it helps people decide if you would be a good support system for them, if you'd be a good coach for them. And as you share how Beachbody fits into all of that, it helps them see that if they're in a similar situation, Beachbody can help them too. Because I talked a ton when I was going through my miscarriage about how there is no way I would have made it through this without my team. Because my team was the first people I told. My team knew I was pregnant before my husband did. And my team knew I was pregnant or I had miscarried before my family did. Jake obviously knew because he was home with me. But other than that, nobody else knew that I was miscarrying except for my team. And I waited 48 hours before we were positive I was miscarrying before I told my family. But my team knew through all of it because they're my best friends. And I talk about that, about how if this had happened where I was a year ago before I started coaching, I would be so depressed right now that no medication on earth could get me out of this. But because I had a support system, because I had friends, I was able to pull myself out and I didn't even drop. I was able to stay okay because I had a support system. And that's an awesome way to talk about coaching without being like right hooking and talking about, you know, you should join my team and make money and talk about the friendships, talk about how your friends help you in your vulnerabilities, how your support system or how the income or how the accountability or whatever it is about coaching that is your awesomeness or all of the above, tie it in to your vulnerabilities. Okay, so there's that one. And then I kind of touched on all the other ones, but just you want to talk about your vulnerabilities as they're happening. I went live today, the second I got home from my dad's doctor appointment, talking about his update because I had a whole bunch of people message me because I just said something about running out the door to a doctor appointment for my dad for his heart and totally didn't eat lunch, but I'm eating a Costco protein bar. These are bomb. They don't have sugar. They have protein and fiber. You should totally eat them. And I had like 5 people message me that were like, how's your dad? So I went live and talked about it. And I didn't wait until a week from now. You know, the day that we found out that we got the doctor approval about my platelets, that we were okay to get pregnant again, I made a video about that. And, you know, all of those different areas, I try to talk about them as soon as possible so that I'm talking about it in real life and it helps. I don't know, you guys all know the either time hop or on this day on Facebook that reminds you what you posted like in years past on this day. Yeah. So sometimes I love and I hate that thing because it reminds me of like how depressed I was and how just my life just sucked. But it really helps me keep an eye on what I want to be posting about because I want to remember a year from now that, you know, like it just came up in my time hop from a year ago that it was when my daughter got her tubes in and that I worked out that day anyway because she was my reason, not my excuse. And like, those are things you talk about as they're happening. You don't wait till they're recovered and say, my daughter went in for same-day surgery 2 days ago, but she's fine now. Talk about it. I'm freaking stressed and I want to eat the whole pantry because I'm so stressed that they're going to put my daughter under when she's 12 months old and whatever. You talk about it as it's happening. It makes you more real. It makes you more vulnerable and you have support. I've never in any of these things I've ever posted about had someone say to me, I don't think I want to be your friend anymore because you said that. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. I'm sure there are people who think that, but none of them have ever said that to me. And I should probably start keeping a list of all the people who tell me that they needed to hear that, you know, that I had depression and that I attempted suicide. Because if I can go from wanting to attempt suicide, how happy and positive I am now, then it makes them feel like maybe they shouldn't commit suicide and maybe they should try to get help because maybe there is hope. And that can be a little intimidating to get messages that are like, oh my gosh, did I just save a person's life? But you really can, you can do that because you're sharing what you struggle with, and someone out there needs to hear that. And there's no way to change lives without talking about those things. So, and the last thing, like I've said like 12,000 times, make it super positive. The thing that the test I give myself is you want to make them want to click like or love on your post and not the sad emoji. So make it something that's really, that has a good spin at the end so that they're going to be like, you are so whatever, you know what I mean. But just make it positive. And if you can't find a silver lining in what you're going through, you're not ready to post it. You gotta wait until you're ready to talk about it. But you want to talk about it the second you can find a silver lining, because you want to be talking to it as close to when it happened as possible. And that is my word vomit on being vulnerable. Do you guys have any questions?
I do. That was so good. Oh my gosh, Ashley. I needed to hear this because, you know, we have a lot of photographers on our team. And I think a lot of us like things to be pretty. We're artistic. We like things to be pretty, including our posts and our pictures. And so it's hard to post a picture of myself without makeup or my messy house or my, you know what I mean? I want it to all be pretty. And, you know, and I loved the talk at Summit where he talked, Shanti, you got front row seats, right?
The glass house, that was amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a picture of Ashley where she's like laughing her head off.
Mega fangirling. Like I was screaming when the picture was taken. I lost my voice at Summit because I was screaming. Yeah.
So Shanti talked about having, you know, a glass house, like trying to share, if you lived in a glass house and everyone could see all the things you were going through and doing, and they're trying to do that. And so I've been really pushing myself more, and it's so hard for me, and I'm sure it's hard for many of us on our team. So I do have some questions for you, and I'm sure you guys, if you have questions, just write in the chat bar, or you can unmute yourself in a minute. But one of my questions that I know has been asked before in our team is, how do you share about something, you kind of touched upon this a little bit, when you can't really talk about it? You know what I mean? Like you want to share that you're going through something, but maybe it's someone that you love that you can't post, you know, you can't put, like with your dad, you know, how can you, I want to hear your thoughts on how you can share about it without being too descriptive, I guess, or revealing too much that might hurt someone else or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a couple ways you can do it. You can kind of be vague about the specifics. Like I said, I had multiple family members. One just kind of hinted at it, and then one flat out said that I caused my miscarriage because of 22-minute hardcore. And one of them was my husband's brother, that he flat out like used the words, Ashley killed your baby because she's too obsessed with her job. And I like, oh, I'm going to kill you. And so I posted about it, but I kept it it's been hinted by a few people that I know and love and love that I caused my miscarriage. And I can't tell you how hard that has been for me. And then I turned it into how I struggle with depression post, and talked about how I've asked my doctor 5 different times if I caused this. And my doctor has told me every single time that they are so proud of the fact that I'm trying to take care of myself, and that I am doing all these things that I'm supposed to be doing, and that I did not cause this. So at the end, it brought it back to the original thing, but the majority of my post was not about my brother-in-law. It was about how I was on antidepressants forever ago. I went off because of exercise. I got postpartum when I was pregnant with Casey, and I'm doing everything in my power to not let that happen again. So yes, I exercise while I'm pregnant, and exercise has done this, and this for me. And the fact that I can do it from home has done this for me, and whatever. But my biggest advice, I guess, on that would be to not get specific about what you don't feel comfortable talking about, and talk about the topic and how it makes you feel without getting into the details, so that people are going to be upset that you shared. So my mom went and da 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 da. You don't have to get into that part. Talk about how there's a difficult situation that happened in my family today, and it really made ugly feelings come up from 7 years ago when I was going through this. And then you just tie it into that, and it doesn't have to go into the details.
Awesome.
Does that help at all? It is so dark in here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do think you can kind of share vaguely what's going on, or even just say, hey, I'm going through something, I'm having a rough day, and you don't have to be like, because XYZ, right. And here's how I'm overcoming it. So I agree. And I call them you can also do subliminal messages of,
yes.
I had something similar last year. I was going through a lawsuit or a legal battle that I couldn't really even talk about. And so it was really hard to kind of share.
Right.
I couldn't. So I had to kind of do subliminal messages. I don't know if anyone got them. I probably should have been a little bit more, I probably should have been hey, I'm going through something. I did it more after the fact. Hey, I went through something, and I wish I would have just been hey, I'm really struggling and da da da. But
I think it helps people to see. So when I went through my miscarriage, timing is everything. Gotta love that. 21 Day Fix was about to go on sale, and I had never done a perfect round. And so I was like, I'm going to do a perfect round of 21 Day Fix, and I'm pregnant, but I'll just, I'll watch it. And the nutrition is totally pregnancy okay. So it's not like I'm doing anything that would hurt the baby. So I started day 1, and I lost the baby day 2. And I was and I had posted all over my feed about how I was doing this perfect round. And so I was I already said I was going to do this perfect round. I need to do this. And so I talked about the miscarriage on day 3, and I kept going. And I would talk about how it hit me again today. And I am so freaking depressed right now, but I know food's not going to make it better. So I'm sticking to my eating, and I would give anything to be able to work out right now. But my doctors told me I need to wait a couple weeks. And I didn't work out until day 12 of that round, I think. So I only worked out for 9 or 10 days. And my pictures, they blew my mind. And I got so much traction because people knew it wasn't just me saying, look, I did a round of 21 Day Fix. I feel so much better. It was, I just did a round of 21 Day Fix with perfect eating while I've had a friggin' miscarriage. If I can do this, you can do this. And look what happened to my body in 3 weeks without working out more than half the time. And my business, that was actually when my business really turned around and Success Club started getting a lot easier for me, is when I was talking about that, because people realize that not only is the nutrition safe if you're pregnant, but that it's real life, and that I overcame. Anyway, you want to talk about it when you're in the middle of it, because it makes people see, I know they're in the middle of something and they still worked out today. And that shows people you're making this a lifestyle, not just, I work out when life's great, and then I go through a trial and then I disappear. So. Yeah.
One more question. How did you stop caring so much? I can't wait for you to share this answer to my, that's the hard part.
Yes.
That's the hard part for everyone, is but so-and-so's going to see it, or,
right.
It's we care too much about what other people think.
Right.
And my son's knocking on the door. So you answer, I'm going to get it.
Okay. So, I don't know. So part of it at the beginning, it happened because people were telling me I made a difference and I helped them. And, that me talking about, the very first thing I was ever vulnerable about outside of weight loss was how I had attempted suicide. And I was not expecting that many people to message me about how they had gone through something too, and that they've never known anybody else who's done that. And I really look up to you that you talked about that. That's the number one thing I hear from people is I really admire you for being able to talk about that, because I don't think I could talk about it. And I'm at the point now that crap happens in my life and I can't wait to talk about it, because it's me. It's part of my story. It helps people get to know me better. And I feel better when I talk about it, because then there's nothing, people can't look at me and say, I bet you that her marriage is falling apart, so she can't have this perfect life that she's portraying that she has. Because I talk about how I moved out of my house when my husband and I had been married for a year, because I hated being married and I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. And I didn't want to be married anymore. And that I got married because I wanted to have a wedding, not because I wanted to be married. And that I married a rock star who has put up with me. And now my marriage is in the best place ever, because I realized that that was the stupid 21-year-old attitude to have. So people can't look at me and say, oh, but I bet you that her house is a mess. Because I posted my house is a mess. So there's nothing that you can't make assumptions about me, because you know everything about me. So it makes it so that people, I feel like it sounds weird, but it takes away people's ability to judge you. And I actually was just talking to my husband about this, and I'm actually going to show you guys this. This is part of the reason I don't do my hair and ponytails very often. I totally did an undercut over the weekend, which if you guys don't know what that is, I shaved the back of my head. And like I talked about, I don't go anywhere without my hair and makeup done. I am not a person who shaves their head. So I'm going to see if I can show you guys, because my camera angle is awesome. But can you see that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So totally shaved my head. And my husband was like, oh my gosh, did you really shave your head? And like, you can't see it if my hair is down, but he's like, did you really shave your head? And I'm like, oh yes, I totally did. And he's like, I am so proud of you, because like, people are, I know my mom thinks I'm psycho, and my mother-in-law is like, I never would have expected you to do that. And I'm like, I know, that's why I did it. Because that's like, people never would have expected that from me. And it scared the crap out of me to do it. And it's hair, it'll grow back. And I had a fabulous person do it, so I totally trusted him. And I posted a video. Did you end up having them do that fitness marshal thing?
Yes. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
You're gonna have to watch it. It's pretty epic.
Okay, I'll go look at it. So posting that, because I posted a video of me doing it. Dude, like I said, I'm not 120 pounds. I'm not super skinny. And looking back at the video, I'm like, I'm totally doing it wrong. I'm doing it on the wrong side. I look like an idiot. But I don't care. I'm having fun. So I don't care. There are some things still that I care about. So I can't say, you just get over it and life just gets better. But honestly, you have to get to the point that, and if you have not read Go Giver, oh my gosh, read Go Giver. But you have to get to the point that that you're not going to be in your own way from changing somebody else's life. And that there are people out there who need you. And if you don't share part of what makes you you, they're not going to come to you for help. And people need you. And there are, as we know, there are hundreds of thousands of Beachbody coaches, but there's a reason that somebody needs you, because the reason, and this is what I love about coaching, this isn't everyone buys from an infomercial and they're randomly assigned to people. I mean, we all know that's what happens with Success Club, but the people pick coaches based off of how they relate to them. And if you're posting stock pictures and Shakeology selfies with your cup and I have my superfoods as I'm running out the door, and they don't know anything about you if you do that. And it's super easy to do that. It's very easy to do that because no one can say, I can't believe you did that. I remember the day I posted that depression post, and I remember exactly what I was wearing in the picture. I remember the font from Word Swag, and I messaged Jaylyn right afterwards, and I said, I think I'm going to go take that down. I don't think I'm going to leave it up. And she said, don't you dare. And I said, but it's not getting any traction. It only has a couple likes. Like I can't believe I just posted that. And she was like, don't you dare take that down. And I still get messages. Like I said, that's one of my big things that people message me about is depression. And you just, it needs to scare you. And you don't want all of them to petrify you, because then you're getting too deep all the time and people are going to be like, whoa, this girl has problems and she just wants to vent it on Facebook. But you want to talk about things that scare the heck out of you, because what if someone thinks bad of me because of this? And that's what touches people, because those are the things that they're all dealing with that they're too scared to talk to people about.
Amen, girlfriend. And you know what I think helps is, like, I just posted my video, and you guys, I don't know, I was so scared to post that video where I kind of just share my whole craziness 2 years ago. And I was so freaking scared. But I think one of the reasons, like, sometimes I'm like, am I being annoying, or but I think your why has to be stronger than your pride. And for me, it's like, you know what? I don't care, because I have goals and I need to feed my family, and, I want to help others. And so that's another thing that I think helps you, like, forget about yourself, is like, you know what? My why is so powerful that who cares, it's getting out of your own way.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay. So we're like, it's already been an hour, but
I was going to say, I talked forever. I'm sorry.
No, this is so good. Like, I just feel like you're like hitting everything we all need to hear. So do any of you guys have any questions you want to ask Ashley? Joelle has one.
I don't really have a question, but, like, I'm talking to Rachel right now, and when you were explaining everything, she's like, oh my gosh, Joelle, she's like your twin. Because everything you said is, like, stuff that I do, like the folding laundry thing, and, like, I'm obsessed with Netflix, and I can't remember what else you said.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks. I learned a lot from this call, and I'm just kind of brainstorming on things that I want to post about. Yeah, thank you.
I love that you kind of embrace your quirks, because I think people really connect to, like, those little things, those funny quirks that we all have, or those little things that we love or that we hate, or, you know what I mean? When you embrace those, then that's
just going along with that. I posted, like, maybe twice in 1 week about how I love water beads. And, like, I bought, like, a huge bulk pack for my kids. Rachel's dying. And I was, like, so excited. And I was, like, putting them in the little gift bags for my kids' birthday parties. And, like, this was back in May, and people to this day will still tag me in things like, Joelle, check out this water bead thing. And I'm like, oh, they remembered that.
Right.
So just
exactly. That makes you memorable. It makes you, and that's exactly, it's the quirks that make you super memorable. Because I seriously have no idea how many people like I said, I'm a BYU fan. People who are Utah fans, which is like the ultimate, like, rival do not know school, will message me and be like, hey, I cleaned my house super good today. Did you see that Utah won? And I'm like, no. That's not how the rivalry works. It only works for me, and it only works for BYU. But it makes it, like, it's made it so that I have, exactly. It makes me memorable, and people remember that. It's, yeah.
Yeah. Were you going to say Steph?
Oh yeah, I was going to say a question. Okay, so I'm, like, a super happy person, just like normally. And so it's not that I don't even know how to describe it. I just don't even notice sad or, like, things not going right in my life or whatever. I'm, like, happy all the time. And so I've been trying to figure out how to be, I guess, more real, even though that is the real me. But I do have things that are hard. I don't know. I don't really notice them that much. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how do you go from posting everything that's like, woo, and then talk about something that's maybe more serious, or anything with sounding like yourself? Because I'm struggling with that, because I'm not a very serious person. I love to laugh. I love humor. I love to dream. And so that stuff is just very uncomfortable for me. But I know that some people have commented and said, you just almost seem fake. And it's weird because I've gotten that my entire life because people can't believe that I'm always operating at this level, but I am always operating like it's me. And so I'm just trying to figure out, like, I don't know if that made sense, but
no, it totally did, because that's exactly where my sister is. My sister is my diamond. And I was actually talking today to her about how I feel like she is in the exact same boat. She just had a new baby. Her baby is like 2 weeks old, and she is loving motherhood, and I love this, and I love nursing, and I love my body, and I'm like, that's not me. I didn't love my body when I was 2 weeks old, and I was so freaking tired. I was ready to punch somebody. And she loves her marriage, and I love my house. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment that's 200 square feet with a baby, and I love it. And I'm like, no. And exactly, you come across as fake because you're just so good at seeing the positive that it is you. It's not being fake. But other people are like, there's no way, life's not really that good. So do you have anything that makes you emotional? Do you have anything that you're like, whenever this happens, I just get super messed up?
Well, and what if it's not all about like the sad and like the depressing things, but it's just the reality things of like, my kid, his face has been dirty all day. Whoops, or just like, just the reality of life as a mom or things like that, like, here's my dirty laundry. And it's not like finding like the sad, depressing things all the time, but just like mom life or like, it's those quirks. It's those.
Exactly. I was going to say that's when your quirks really come in, because those are very unique to you. And those are things that people could judge you for, depending on how quirky they are. Because I'm like, so horrible. I can't believe I'm about to admit this. I really like That's What She Said jokes, which that's so bad, but I love them. And so when I'm around people, I like at the retreat, everyone was dying because my brain was apparently way in the gutter because I heard a lot of That's What She Said. And everybody was, so it's like kind of my thing with my team now, but that's something I would never share on my page, which means I need to share it on my page, because the kind of person, not necessarily that I want to attract gutter-minded people, but like I want to attract people who have a sense of humor. I want to attract people who can laugh at themselves. And seriously, Joelle, we just need to be besties. But you want to look for those things that make you you. And if there's certain kinds of jokes, Stephanie, that you love, focus on those. But my biggest piece of advice, especially for any of you who are kind of thinking, I don't know if I have anything to be vulnerable about, don't think that for very much. Don't think, I don't know if I have anything to be vulnerable about. Because like I said, I'm religious and I thought that. And 3 days later, my husband got laid off, and then I miscarried 3 weeks later, the day my husband lost insurance. Like,
right. You're saying
don't sit and think, I don't know if I have any trials. I don't know if I have, because you'll get some. So find things before you get some sent to you.
Yeah. I mean, Stephanie, I know you've mentioned to me that you love working. Like you're like, I'd rather work than be a mom, or what. You probably worded better than that, but
no, that's pretty much
it. Because I connect to that. Like, that's very much me. Like, I'm better at working than motherhood, so, but again, I have a hard time sharing that. Like, and it's that, I don't know. There are some things that I catch myself being like, I should share that. And I'm like, no, because people will probably think this, or like today I was going to share how I wanted to punch my daughter in the face. And I'm like, but if I say punch in the face, are they going to call like,
I feel like the best way to do those ones is to meme and say something about how like Jalen found this awesome one about locking your kids in an outhouse that I'm like, yes, because it made people laugh, but you're still saying, pretty sure you could call DCFS on me, but it like, people know you're kidding. People like, yeah.
Stephanie, I was just going to say, you can even make that a post. Like, people always comment like, oh, I'm so happy all the time, I must be fake. But nope, that's just who I am. And I choose to live life and see the positive side of things. And I think people will appreciate that.
And have you always been that way, Stephanie? Did something trigger that, or have you just always been that way? That's awesome.
Yeah, I've always been that way.
That's awesome. So, and you can talk about that too. You can talk about how, you know what, this is just who I am. And this isn't fake. And if you know me in real life, you'll know that. And that will get good traction, because people who know you will agree with that, because it's not, I think that's where the misalignment happens, is people who know you when you're being uber positive, when you're not that way in real life. But on Facebook, life is rainbows and unicorns. People are like, you are being so fake. Like, I know that's not real. Where if you are like that when people are around you, and people from high school know that about you, and your family knows that about you, and your neighbors know that about you, it's not fake. It's authentically you. And that's the whole point of being vulnerable, is being authentically you and posting in a way that people might judge you. And people will judge you for being super positive, but that's you. That is being vulnerable, because people might think bad of you for it, but it's you, and you're sharing you. So
yeah. I think the thing that makes it, I think the amazing thing about when you do post vulnerably is that, again, like you said, and this doesn't happen to me that much, so obviously I need to post more vulnerably, but having people be like, when I feel like I could be your best friend, or I feel like I know you already, you know what I mean? So I think when you post that much, then people feel so connected to you that they're like, let's hang out. Okay, I'll join your team because I trust you and we are similar. You know what I mean? So anyway, this was such a good call, you guys. Any last questions? I know we're totally running over, but it's such a good call. We're just going to hold you hostage, Ashley.
I don't mind. My daughter's in bed. The only thing I'm doing is watching Once Upon a Time and cleaning my house so you can win. So
we're keeping you for Once Upon a Time. Oh, Natasha has a question.
That's not a question, but we actually chit-chatted at Summit. We were looking at a Shakeology table of sweaters. It's the healthy sweater. Yes. And we were laughing because we're like, all the itty bitty sizes are gone, but it's good for us. Woohoo!
Right. Exactly. Yep. And I totally bought one of those. Yes.
It's my favorite buy.
I love that hoodie.
About it, that it's one of my favorite buys from Summit, that I was like, I went thinking all this. I went walking with my mom on Sunday here in Albuquerque, and I'm rocking my sweater, all just rolling the sleeves up. I'm like, yeah, I have to rock my Shakeology.
That is awesome. I need to post more about it, because like even just outfits in it, because that's like subtle marketing that you're not saying, like, I drink a superfood shake. It's just wearing my sweats, and I just happen to be wearing the greatest sweatshirt of all time.
It's kind of what I did. I said that it was my favorite post, and I love the fact that it just talks about my favorite thing, and then it turned into my little, like, just a little plug about Shakeology, but without having to be a, hey!
Exactly.
And I'm like in my workout clothes. I have my headband on. I have everything. I'm like, who cares? So
awesome.
I just wanted to tell you, I was like, I know, I talked to
awesome.
Our little fun Summit memory.
Exactly. Summit was the greatest, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, it was awesome.
Summit was amazing. Oh, it was amazing.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. This was such a good call. Everyone needs to watch this again. And here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to sit down really quick before you leave, because you got to do it now or it's not going to happen. And write your 10 things. In fact, if one of you guys could do a post in Team Chic, that'd be great, because I got to do a live call next after this in the sneak peek. But write your 10 things that you're going to talk about, that you are going to be vulnerable about, or just quirks or whatever. Write those down either on a post-it note or in the comments of our Team Chic post. Joelle, will you do that?
Yep.
I love to pick on you. Okay. But yeah, because this was such a great call, I wanted you guys to actually do something about it. And then let's take Ashley's inspiration and rock it out. And you can follow Ashley on Instagram at Ashley McCLellan, right? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Ashley. You're amazing. We love
You're so
you.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye,
That was
you guys.
fabulous. This is awesome.
Thanks.